So again, good evening. I know you are from different regions. It could be morning or afternoon, but let me just say hello and welcome to this webinar session on hassle-free migration to Zoho Mail. So I'm Perlin Anugraha, and I'll be starting off the session, and there are more people joining in as well. So once again, if you had just joined, you can see that there are different tabs for you. The questions tab, where you can post specific questions that you have about migration. Our technical support experts are waiting to answer in real time. And then there's a chat tab, which you can use to engage with us and talk to us. Also, let us know if you're facing any trouble seeing the presentation or hearing the audio or anything of that sorts. And the handouts tab, where you can refer to the materials and download them as well. So, let's get started. I'm Perlin, as I already introduced, and joining me and on screen, you can see her. That's Priyanka, who's a product expert. She'll be delving deep into the migration process later on. And we also have Jafrina Anthony with us, who's our senior technical support expert. She'll be answering questions even during the session and later as well. And these are our LinkedIn names if you want to connect with us outside of this session. So this is how the agenda for today is going to be like. So I'll start off with an overview about Zoho and about Zoho Workplace and introduce you to migration and also show you what competitive edge we have when compared to Office 365. And then I'll hand it over to Priyanka, who will then give you a demo of how the migration process actually happens. So about Zoho, I'm sure from the conversations we had, a lot of you know Zoho. But for those of you who are new, we are a company who's been around for around 25 years now, and we are into software products crafted for businesses specifically. And right now we have more than 75 million users worldwide. And in addition to Zoho Mail, which we'll be talking about a lot today, and Zoho Workplace, we have other applications as well for different categories of business like CRM, marketing, HR management, etc. And our offices are across different regions, different countries, and we serve millions of customers. And there are around 10,000 employees who do the work. And this is our global footprint when it comes to both offices and data centers. As you can see, we are widespread. And there are actually more offices, even ones coming up in Africa, and even more data centers as we speak, because ultimately we want to host your data in your region so that you feel comfortable about the same. So today we'll be talking a lot about Workplace, and Workplace is actually a suite of applications which we can broadly categorize into these three buckets. So of course we have Zoho Mail, which is the business email part of it, and this actually comes bundled with a full-fledged calendar, tasks, a note-taking app, and a sharing and commenting platform, which you can use for collaborative work. And then we have the Office Suite part of it, which will be your alternative for, say, the Word and Excel and PowerPoint you could be using right now. So we have a word processor, a spreadsheet software, and a presentation software, which is again centrally managed in a file management system. And this also has a desktop support available. And then comes the communication part of it. So, in addition to email, you have other modes of communication as well, like messaging, calling, holding virtual meetings, a company intranet, and more. So, all this together, working seamlessly with a lot of integrations built in, is what we call Workplace. So these are like different pricing options. I know this is in the rupee value, but you can head over to our website if you want to check out other values as well. So there are mail only plans if you want to go light and only use Zoho Mail. But if you think the entire bundle will be useful to you, you can choose the workplace plans. The features will differ from one to the other. And another great news is we have something called flexible pricing, where you can actually mix and match these different plans for different people in your organization. Not everyone will need a full-fledged collaboration platform, and not everyone will, need all that Workplace has to offer. So in that case, you can go for Mail Lite for those users. And then for the others, you can choose a workplace plan within the same organization with no user cap on each of these plans. And so let's first talk about Zoho Mail. So I'll just be giving you an overview of what these apps look like, because today is going to be mainly about migration. So I'll just give you an overview. So Mail is our secure business email solution with a 99.9% guaranteed uptime. We spoke about security and privacy, right? So we put that first and foremost. We offer enterprise grade security, even advanced security features on our highest plan on top of the basic security. And this is actually well integrated with other components like there's a calendar which will help with schedule management. The groups you create in your Zoho mail can be carried over here. And within the group, you can have group events, you can invite people, etc. And if you use calendar on other Zoho apps as well, all these are synced in one place. And you can also sync it with your external calendars or even the calendars on your mobiles. And then we have Zoho Tasks, again within Zoho Mail, which is for task management. If you want to assign work within your group, you can tag people, you can create subtasks, you can have due dates. It's like a mini project management module right within Zoho Mail. Can be used for your personal tasks as well and to track your personal works or set recurring tasks for the tasks that are bound to repeat. And then we have Zoho Work Drive. So this is a file management system. That is what we call as Work Drive. So this is a place where you can centrally manage all your files, where you can add people to team folders and add relevant files there, give them proper access levels and permissions, and make sure that there is proper audit trails so that you know who's accessing what and who's changing what, and if the version you're on is the latest version. So this again comes with a desktop sync option so that your files can be downloaded to your desktop and you can work on them even when offline. And there are even advanced control levels, like you can control what devices people actually access these files from. And within Work Drive, we have bundled the entire Office suite. So the first one is a word processor, which we call Zoho Writer, a very smart word processing platform with advanced features like workflow automation, document automation, where you can merge documents, where you can write templates for your CRM emails. And there's also something called Zia, which is an artificial intelligent assistant to help with improving the quality of your writing. And this is also available offline. And then comes our spreadsheet tool, which is Zoho Sheet, very insightful with lots of advanced macros and functions built in. This also comes with an artificial intelligence agent where you can smartly generate charts based on the data. And of course, it's available on mobile. All of our apps are available on mobile. In Zoho Sheet, for example, you have interesting features where you can just take a picture of a printout and actually convert that picture into a spreadsheet instantly. So that's one interesting feature. And we have Zoho Show for presentations. This one right now is created on Show. You have everything you would expect from a presentation software, along with offline support. If you had noticed, all our Office apps have offline support, and we also integrate well with third-party add-ons to make your presentation that much more impactful. And then we have Zoho Click. So this is a very powerful communication tool where you have options to message your colleagues, have group channels for group collaboration. You can even call them, audio, video call them, etc. And they have a remote work module built in so that even if you're not working from a physical office, you can still log your times by checking in and checking out. It bundles a lot of different communication options. Like there's a whiteboard where you can use to annotate and draw and convey your ideas. There's also polls which you can run to gather information better, and so many more. And then we have our virtual meeting tool. We call it as Zoho Meeting. So this is for real-time audio and video conferencing. Comes with chat, note-taking, and other nice features like changing your layouts, your backgrounds, etc. And of course, all this with top-notch security and even advanced control options for the administrator who is running the meeting. And it also comes with a recording option so that you can record and refer to later. And then we have Zoho Connect. So this is the social internet space, a very social media like flavor to it, where people can come together and exchange ideas, have interest groups, go in and discuss on topics that matter to them. And you can also have like a learning hub with all the important materials relevant to your company, and set up external channels to communicate with, say, your clients or your customers. And there's also a space which we like very much within Zoho called Town Hall, where we can just post questions to the top management and they will answer it for us. So many such features that actually brings people together and helps maintain the company culture. So this is about workplace, and migration is easy really. We don't want to sound like we're bragging, but it's easy, which you will see as Priyanka starts the demo. And even as you migrate, there's a support team 24/7 to help you with the process. And we continuously monitor the migration and we make sure that data is transferred completely with zero loss. And as you contemplate on moving, switching, or migrating, you can also make use of split delivery, where you can configure some accounts in Zoho Mail and some in your existing servers, and you can carry the migration out in multiple phases. You can so that you get an idea of what's happening when accounts are hosted in Zoho Mail, or you can go for a dual delivery where you deliver a copy of your emails to your own legacy servers as well, in addition to Zoho Mail. So many such options to make you comfortable during the migration process so that you don't have to worry about your data being lost. And I would like to throw some light on some of the major differences when we compare Workplace with Microsoft. First one is the price, of course. We have such deep and interesting features for lesser price. And this is our workplace offering starting at $3, but actually the main light option is even cheaper, which is at $1. Depends and varies for different currencies as well. And like I already mentioned at the beginning, we place no cap on the user count for a mix and match pricing. And there are different innovative features that you wouldn't find in Microsoft, like email sharing, where you can share an email and actually discuss about the email instead of sending replies and forwards. And there's something called confidential emails, where you can protect your email with a password. And then, since our HR management tool is integrated, so you can actually search for the person, for the particular designation, for the particular team, etc. So all this comes in really handy when you're a big organization. And we also have built-in tools for a lot of the integrations, be it automating a document signing. So we have built-in tool for the same, and even something called collect files within a file management system to collect files from different people. So all this is built in instead of having to depend on or pay for additional add-ons. And then there's also other interesting features like whiteboarding and collaboration insights page by page on a writer document, like who's doing what, who has read what part of the document, who has made what changes, etc. So much more comes as a part of workplace. And then of course it actually helps building the culture like no other, where there are multiple options so that you actually have the choice to choose whatever suits you best. There are town halls, there's this ability to post anonymous comments, etc. And there's like a training platform built in within the social intranet. So much more like this. So that's about the edge we have over Microsoft 365. Just a few examples. I'm sure there are more. And we have some good news that we have a migration assistance program in case you want help through the migration. It's a paid program where you can approach us and we can help you with the process. And since you're here in the webinar and since you're already invested in migrating, we will be happy to give you a discount on the list price for the attendees of the webinar. So if you think you need help, you can email us in the email ID displayed on screen, migration@zohoworkplace.com. If you watch the demo, you'll be convinced that this is quite a simple process, but still, different organizations have different needs. So if you need support, we're there for you. We have specific program for you. So email here and our people will get in touch with you. So that's about it from me. So now I want to hand over to Priyanka, who can actually show you what happens when you migrate your data and the steps involved in migrating both your email data and your users. So over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you for the brief explanation, Perlin. Hi, everyone. This is Priyanka, and I'm really glad to see a lot of relevant questions in the question tab. And I really encourage you to, keep the questions coming. With that being said, without any delay, we can move into the product demonstration. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I hope everybody can see my screen now. Okay. All right. So to begin with, in order for you to migrate your data from Office 365 to Zoho Mail is the essentiality of this webinar. You have three different methods through which you can do that. All right. So the first method will be one-click migration, and then the next will be server-to-server migration. And then the last will be Exchange Migration Wizard. It is a tool that you can use to migrate your PST files to Zoho Mail. All right. It can also enable you to migrate the data in the format of EML, and it also enables you to migrate your data from Exchange servers. All right. So in order for you to do that, you will have to install this particular tool in your local computer and do the process. And then we have one-click migration and server-to-server migration. So I'd like to state some differences between them. The first major difference between these two methods is that if you want to do one-click migration, all that you need is the admin's credential, all right? But if you're going to choose server-to-server migration, make sure you know that you will have to need the credential of all the user you want to migrate. Not just the admin credential is sufficient, all right? And then the next major difference between these two is that if you want to migrate data like mails, contacts, and calendar, make sure to choose the one-click migration, all right? Because server-to-server migration only enables you to migrate the email data. Okay, so those are some of the major difference between these two. So with that being said, I think we can move on with the first method, which is one-click migration. Okay. So in order for you to do the one-click migration, the first step that you will be carrying is assigning application impersonation role. Okay. So what is the importance of this step is that it is basically giving a user the access to all the data in the Office 365 account. All right. So imagine I'm giving this role to one of my user, then I can use that particular user's credential in order to bring in the data from Office 365 account. All right. So how do you give this role to one of the user is what you will do is you will log into the Exchange Admin Center, and then you will go to the permissions, and then you will assign the application impersonation role to one of the user. All right. And then the changes will be applied. You will have to give it some time for the changes to be applied. Make sure you give it the time, and then you can, do the next process. So let me show you how you do that. So this is the Exchange Admin Center, and here you will select permissions. All right. Okay, it's taking a while. Okay, once that is done, click on the plus icon here. It will take you to a page such as this. Okay, so let's just give it a name, that is okay, let me just give it a name such as that, and then you will have to select plus icon under the roles. Okay, now we are going to choose which role we want to assign, which is going to be application impersonation. Once you select that, click on add and click on OK. Right? So once you choose the role, the next thing that you will have to choose is to who you want to assign the role. So in order for you to do that, click the plus icon under the members, and that will take you to a page where the list of users will be listed. Okay. Select the person to who you want to assign the role, click on add and click on OK. Okay, so once you do this, you will have to click on save. So that's about the steps. Make sure you give it some time, about 20 minutes or so that the changes will be applied. I already added this particular user and I've given the time. So let me just move on with the next step, which is Okay, which we will be doing in the Zoho Mails page. You will have to go into the Zoho Mail admin console page, and there in the data migration page, you will be doing the following. Okay, the first step will be you will have to provide the server details. So where you'll be giving it a name for the migration, and then you will select new server details. Under the protocol or application drop down, you will choose Office 365. Okay, and then you will have two different fields that you will have to fill in, which is the Office 365 admin email address and the password. So whose address and password you will fill is that the user's address to who we have given the role of application impersonation. Okay, so that will be the first step, and then we will move on to doing some of the steps such as giving the settings for this particular migration. So the first setting will be you will be choosing the data that you want to migrate: emails, contacts, or calendar, or all three of them. And then you have an option where you'll be able to choose the folders and emails that you want to migrate. And then you can also choose the connection limit and storage limit. So if you're going to ask me what is a connection limit, it is simply the a number that will be specified here. So those many number of users will be migrated simultaneously. It's just simple as that. Okay, it depends on the server's capacity, but it's just simple as that. How many ever numbers you specify, those number of users will be migrated simultaneously. All right, and then you have storage limit that you can also specify. So this happens in case like if there is a storage bloat up here, then you will want this migration to suspend somewhere, right? So you can specify at which percentage of storage you want the migration to suspend. So after which you can take the further steps and resume the migration. So that's about the connection limit and storage limit. And then you can add the migration. So I think till this we can see the demo. So this is your Zoho page, Zoho Mail page. You have to click on the avatar and choose admin console. All right. So if you want to do data migration, make sure to go to the admin console page. So this is our admin console page. Here you have data migration on the left side of your page. Click on that. It says start migration. All right, let me give it a name. Okay, so this is the page where we'll be filling the server details. Select Office 365 under protocol or application. And then in the source admin email address, you will give the user's credential to who you have assigned the role. And the password of the person. Okay, so once you do that, you will be taken to the next page, which is settings. Here you can specify the settings for this particular migration. You can choose the data that you want to migrate, mail, contacts, and calendar. And then you can also choose the folders you want to migrate. So if you're going to go with the all folders option and you still feel like you want to exclude certain folders, you can select this option and you can specify the folders that you want to exclude in this particular box. All right. And then you have specific folders. Specific folders simply allows you to specify the folders you want to migrate. Okay, so other folders and all will be excluded. All right. And then you have emails to migrate. So if you want to migrate all of your emails, go with the first option. But if you want to migrate the emails that were sent and received during a specific date range, then you can go with the second option. All right. And then you have enable POP access for the migrated emails. So what this option suggests is that if you want to give access to the migrated emails to the migrated users, then you have to give yes, else you can go with no. All right. And then click on add. So this is the final page of our migration configuration. So here you will specify a number that is these many users will be migrated simultaneously. All right. And then you can choose either of the storage limit so that the migration will suspend at that point if there is a storage reach. All right. Okay. So now we've finished with the configuration part. And then the next step will be step 3, where you will add or map the users to be migrated. All right. You can import the user to be migrated from Office 365 and then you can start the migration. Not just that, you'd be able to see the progress of the migration by checking the reports. So let me show you how you can see that. In the user tab, you can add the users by choosing any of this option, which is add and import. So if you're going to add the users manually one by one, go with the first option, add, and give the details of the user. The password is not necessary because one-click migration doesn't, it does not necessarily need the password of the user. It only needs the admin credential, right? Choose the destination for the particular user, and then choose if you want to migrate only in place archive mailbox. If you want to do that, then select this option, else you can deselect it. And then you have something called as priority. So if you ask me how priority works, is that, let me just take an example where I have 10 users I want to migrate, and I want to migrate I want to prioritize 5 users out of that. Then I can go with this option. So if I'm going to prioritize 5 users as high and the rest of the users as low, so regardless of when I'm adding them during the migration, those 5 users will be migrated first and the rest of the users will be migrated later in the migration process. Okay, so that's how priority works. So now we're done with the addition of user part. Okay, let me just start with adding one user. If you want to add or import user multiply, then you have to go with the import option, and then you can click on the sample file here where you'll be shown a sheet of example or the format in which you have to create a sheet. Okay, see the sheet and fill in the details of the users, and you can import it here so that those many number of users will be imported simultaneously. Okay, so I can click on start migration. Okay, so after the migration starts, you can abort the migration anytime you want by clicking on the abort migration. In the configuration page, you will be able to see the status of the migration. All right, this says it is in progress and the number of user we have added and number of people migrated and in progress and failed. Okay, you can also refresh the migration and see the current status of the migration anytime you want. In the users tab, if you go and select the email address of person, you can also see the folder wise migration here. So if we just leave some time, we can also see the folder names that's been migrated successfully. I'll be coming back to this page to show you that. And if there's any failures in any case, then you can also view them here. The contacts. The contacts and calendars migration can be viewed by clicking on these tabs. All right. So that is about how you would do one-click migration from Office 365 to Zoho Mail. Okay, so we are done with that. I hope you are clear with this method. So if we are clear with this, we can move on with the next method, which is server to server migration. Okay, in server to server migration, the points that I wanted you to remember is only the email data will be migrated, not the calendars and contacts. And the next difference is you will have to have the credentials of each and every user you want to migrate. Okay, not just the admin credential is sufficient. So in server to server migration, you have two different protocols, which is IMAP and POP, right? So the difference between these two protocols is if I'm choosing IMAP protocol, then my folder structure that is being migrated will be the same as it is, okay? But in POP, the folder structure will not be migrated at all. Only the mails will be migrated directly. Okay, so that's one difference. And another difference is if at all there is an error in migration process, I'd be able to detect and rectify if I'm choosing IMAP migration. But that is not available for me if I'm choosing POP. All right, so there's a lot of difference between these two protocols. So I suggest you all to first review those differences and choose whichever suits you the best. All right. With that being said, I think we can move on with seeing how you can do this. So in IMAP or POP migration, the steps will be to fill in the server details. So these are the server details of the Office 365. And then you have import the user or manually add the user, and then you can start the migration. Okay, you can also check the reports for any failures in this migration as well. So let me take you to the data migration page and show you how you can do that. So this is again the admin console of Zoho Mail, and we've come to the data migration page, and we are going to select create. Let me give it a name. All right. In the select saved server details, this option was not available for us before is because we had no server details saved. Okay, but now we have a server details saved because we just did a migration. So if you want to do a migration again, you don't have to fill in the server details again. You can just click the saved server details itself. So that's why this option is available. So for now, we'll choose new server details, add new server details, and then under the select protocol or application dropdown, I'm going to choose IMAP. All right, so this is where you will choose the protocol. And then you have source server type, which will be others. And then you will have to manually fill the Office 365 server details here. Okay, so this is the source server address of Office 365, which is outlook.office365.com. And then the security type will be auto-filled, and all that you have to do is click on add. Okay, so once that is done, the server details is filled. Now we are taken to the settings page. Here again, you can choose the folders you want to migrate and emails you want to migrate. But one option is not available for us, which is the data that you want to migrate. Only the emails will be migrated, so that is not available for us. So you can choose the folders you want to migrate. If it's going to be all folders, go with the first option. Or if it's going to be specific folders, select this option and specify the folders you want to migrate. All right. And then you have emails you want to migrate. If it's going to be all emails, go with the first option. Or if you want to migrate the emails that were sent and received during a specific date range, then go with this. And last of all, you have enable pop access for the migrated emails, which is if you want to allow the migrated users to have access to the migrated emails, go with this option and select on add. Okay, so now we are taken to the create page. Here again, you can specify the number of users you want to migrate simultaneously, and also you can choose the storage limit. Okay, done. The configuration for the IMAP migration is done. The next thing you will do is you will add the user, right? So here you can see that you will have to give in the password of the user as well, which was not, necessary in the last method, right? So let me fill in this. Okay, and then choose the destination email address. So this is the email address that is going to receive all the data from this account, all right? So make sure to create the user accounts for all the users you want to migrate before you start the migration process. So that is one prerequisite that you must remember. And then choose the priority for this particular user and click add. Okay. Again, I'm going to just stop with adding one user. If you want to import, you can go with this option and create a sheet in accordance with the format that we've given, and you can upload the file. Okay, let me select the start migration. Again, you can abort the migration anytime you want, and then you can refresh and see the current status of the migration. All right. So let me show you now. I think now it will be available. In the one-click migration, I think some of the folders will be migrated by now. Yes. So if you want to see the folder-wise migration, what you have to do is go to the user tab, click on the email address, and you'd be able to see the folder-wise migration. And the contacts and calendar tabs can also be seen to see how much the migration has been done. Okay. So that is about how you will see the status of the migration. Okay. So I think that is about how you will do an IMAP or POP migration. So this is done. The last demo that I'd be doing for today is PST migration. So this is very relevant for the Outlook users. So we thought we would also include this demo in this particular webinar. So to start off with PST migration, one thing that you have to know is admins and users can initiate a PST migration. All right, but only the admins can perform the PST migration for multiple users. So if you're doing it for single users, the user itself can do, but if it's going to be for multiple users, make sure only an admin is doing that. Okay, so that's one thing you must know. And then moving on with seeing how you can do PST migration, there is certain prerequisites that you will have to do before you start the migration process. First one is you will have to install the Exchange Migration Wizard tool in your local computer. Okay, that will be the first prerequisite, and then next will be create user accounts for all the users. Okay, and then create a document with a list of user IDs that is found in that account, and then later on place the PST files inside the respective folders. Okay, so once you do all of these things, you can start off with the migration process. So let me show you a video. So this is the video where the PST migration is done successfully. Let me play that for you. So as you can see, we selected the tool, right? So this is the Zoho Exchange Migration tool. You will have to install it inside your computer before you start the process, all right? Select that and then select next. And then there's a link that you will have to copy here. So if you notice something here is that they've opened the Zoho Mail account in one tab, and now we are going to copy paste this link on another tab. Okay, that way the verification process will be even more simpler. Okay, so make sure you open the account first in one tab, and then you can paste the link in another tab. All right. So once this is done, we will have to select accept. All right. Go back to the tool and then select verify. The verification process is being done. So once the verification is done, you can select if it is going to be for single user or multiple user, and then you can choose next. This page allows you to choose which migration you're choosing. So for now, we're going to see PST migration. Select next, and you will be taken to a page where you will have to browse the users. In the prerequisite, we saw that we will have to create a document and we will have to fill in the list of users, right? So that is the folder we're going to fetch now. All right. We selected the document and these are the list of users. You will have to select verify accounts to see if these accounts are existing or not. And then you can choose next. Here again, you will browse the PST files that you want to migrate. So if you notice here, this is a mass folder under which you have subfolders, right? In the subfolder, it is named after the user's ID. Okay, only when you do that, these PST files will be placed inside those particular accounts. Okay, so make sure you name the folders in that way. And select OK after selecting the folder. So now you can see the folders and subfolders listed under the particular user's name. You can select and deselect the files that you want to migrate and select next. Here again, you can select the users and deselect the users. Okay. In this option, you can see the data that you want to migrate. So if you're going to select mails or exclusively for mails, you can select if you want to migrate all of your emails or mails that were sent between a certain period. Okay. Whereas other data do not have that option. And you can specify the date range. And then you can choose the other data that you want to migrate. And then you can apply those changes for the selected users. Clicking on Start Migration, the migration process will be completed. And then once it is completed, you can choose Quit. Okay, so that's about how you will do PST migration using this particular tool. All right. So I think that's about my part. So if you have any questions with the demo that I did, or if you have any other questions, our experts are ready to answer all of your questions. You can shoot them now. Thank you.
Thank you, Priyanka, for that very detailed demo. And you all saw how quickly she was able to do it, right? So that's testament to the fact that migration process can be really simple. So thank you for that. We were able to see a lot of questions coming in even during the session. We're going to stay around a bit longer so that you can ask more questions. So keep them coming. We will answer them right away. And also let us know in the chat tab maybe as to how you found the session. Was it useful? And what you'd like to see in our upcoming webinars or sessions, or what you'd like us to cover. So that'd be great to know. And just overall, let us know your feedback as well so that we can take and improve upon it as well. So yes, again, there's a questions tab, there's a chat tab, and if you haven't downloaded the handouts already, head over to the handouts tab and you can download them for your future reference as well. Thank you, Ahmed, for the feedback that it was easy to follow. We're happy to know that it was helpful. Priyanka, would you want to tell them about the second session we have, like on the same topic, in case they would like to invite someone on a different time zone?
Yeah, at 11 a.m. PDT, we are also having another session. So if you want your friends in different countries to attend the session, you can still invite them. Let me see
Yeah.
if I can find the link and paste it in the chat tab.
Yes, the link will be pasted. So, in case you have people in your organization across geographies in a different time zone that that would benefit from the session, then please do invite them. So, we will share the link shortly. Great, thanks, Swati, for pasting the link. So, it's in the chat tab if you'd like to register for that session later today. So you can also go ahead and explore our website where you will have additional information about the features, about the different pricing models we have and the features covered. Because this is a short session, we couldn't talk about what each plan includes. So you can head over to our website to both Zoho Mail and Zoho Workplace and take a look at the pricing and the features included. And if there's at all any questions that you have, you can email us. Once again, I'd like to remind you about the special migration assistance program we have in case you need help with migrating your accounts. So you can write to us at migration@zohoworkplace.com and our experts will get in touch with you. It's a paid program, but since you come through this webinar, you have an exclusive discount for that as well. So I'd also like this opportunity to thank the people behind the screen answering all the questions during our session. So thank you, Jafrina, for answering most of them. And some of our other colleagues have also joined in. So thank you all contributing to the session. So since we can see that there are still questions coming in, we're going to stay in the session for a while. And so you can keep them coming. Like if you had noted down some questions that you forgot to ask away. We're here to answer. Great, great, great to know that you'll be passing this on to the management, Swapnil. And thank you for attending the session today. If you have other feedback as to the kind of content we provided, or what you'd like to see more, or what you'd like to see in the upcoming webinars, also let us know in the chat bar. We are happy to take your requests and work upon them. Thanks for all the thank yous you're passing it on to us. We're happy to do what you're doing. And we need to thank you actually for being a great audience. Some of you were here before time and you've been really interactive throughout the session. So actually, thank you. Yeah, it made the job really easy for myself and Priyanka as well.
Yeah, and one thing, as Berlin said, you can drop all of the questions in the question tab. But if later on, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us through this particular mail address, which is support@zohomail.com. We have 24 into 7 support all time. You can reach out to us through that mail address. Yes, Sanjana, we will be sharing the recording through via mail.
So, if you look at the chat bar now, I have dropped in some of our social media handles. So, if you're on Twitter and if you'd like to see constant updates on what we're doing with our products, you can follow these handles: Zoho Mail, which is specifically for the email suite, and Zoho Workplace for the entire bundle, and Zoho Calendar for calendar specific updates. So, go ahead and follow these handles as well, where we post from time to time. And it's also a great place where you can actually interact with us, tweet about us. Feel free to tweet about this session if you'd like, if you actually found it useful. So go ahead and follow these handles as well. And a lot of you are asking about the recording. No worries, we will be sharing the recording with you all. So even if you missed certain sections of it, you don't have to worry. You can go over the recording later. Oh, great to know that you're actually waiting for the next session, Swapnil. If there's anything that you'd like for us to cover, like any specific topics that you want for us to cover, so just let us know that as well. Now or later, anything works. Yes, the recording will be shared on the registered email ID. Sure. So I'm just going over the questions, and I thought maybe I'll spell a few out because I think it'll be useful for a lot of you. You have questions about, extending your mailbox size for a specific user. Yes, that's possible. You can actually purchase additional storage and allocate to a specific user as answered already. So there's the storage add-on facility as well. You can make use of within Zoho Mail. So there are okay. So there's also a question about if we can migrate batch by batch. So we had already mentioned that that's possible. You don't have to do it all in one go. We are aware of the common inhibitions you would have about doing that. So we allow batch by batch migration as well. Any specific questions about that, you can ask them, or you can write to support, like Priyanka mentioned later as well. And do you have only POP, not IMAP? You would have seen in the demo. I think that answered your question. We support both POP and IMAP migration. Yeah, so there's an inquiry about Zoho reseller. You can check out the link that Jafrina has shared. So we have a particular process in place um, where we kind of qualify our resellers and partners. So very happy to see the interest in joining Zoho Partner Family. So please do check out more details in our websites and apply for the same. It's wonderful how quick our experts have been, like even as new questions come in, they're answering it right away. Thank you for that. Um, so maybe we'll give you a little more time, maybe a few more minutes in case there are more questions, because I can see that most of the attendees have started leaving. So we're glad that this was a useful session for you. So we'll wait a couple more minutes, and if there aren't any more questions, then we'll wrap the session up. Once again, thanks everyone for being a great audience and for the interest that you have shown to Zoho Mail. We're looking forward to a really good partnership to serving you as our customers. So expect many such sessions from us in the coming days, which we aim to make it as useful as possible. So I guess that is it. You're very welcome, Swapnil. Thanks again. So I guess it's bye from both of us and also for the team working behind the screen.